What is going on, everybody? My name is Brennan. This is the Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. My co-hosts, Aaron and Ray, are currently busy with family things, so I'm going to take over for the night. So, obviously, the Thursday night game just happened. We'll talk about that right now. So, Duval Nation goes into New Orleans and upsets everybody. It seemed like everybody tonight had the Saints money line in the under, and both those things did not happen. Jacksonville was 31, Saints 24. Let's talk about Jacksonville's side here really quickly because there's some things going on. It's a little frustrating, I would say, so to speak. Trevor Lawrence wasn't terrible for you tonight. He definitely didn't kill you if you started him. I know there were some looming concerns with his injury, but ran the ball actually pretty well. He was 20 for 29, 204 yards with a touchdown and for 8 carries and 59 yards. It's pretty impressive. And Travis Etienne is on his way to being the top 3 running back of the year, potentially top 1. 14 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he had 3 catches. I think Bigsby is really not a thing here. He had 2 carries for 3 yards. He's really, if you have him, please drop him. He's not going to be anybody holding unless you're a Travis Etienne owner. That's one I'd probably handcuff with. But the more frustrating side is this receiver core. So Christian Kirk led the team in receptions and in targets as well. He was 6 for 90 with a touchdown. He also fumbled it, but he ended the day with 19 points in most standard scoring leagues. Jamal Agnew filled in the role for Zay Jones. He actually wasn't too bad, 4 for 36. But this guy named Tim Jones had more receptions than Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley had 1 catch for 5 yards. It is very frustrating being a Calvin Ridley owner. I myself in one. A couple of guys here, Aaron and Ray probably own him as well, and you just don't know what to do with him. There's just games, and I think it's just they don't really use him to the fullest. Like, he very much is just a go route on the sideline where a natural defender just plays it to the outside, and they're not really working him over the middle or anything else like that. So it is pretty frustrating in that point. And Evan Ingram, solid night. He'll probably end as the tight end 11 or 12 with 5 catches of 45 yards, so you're really not upset with him on that. Now, the Saints side, Derek Carr, if you did start him in a pinch with some of the guys on bye weeks, kudos to you. He was 33 for 55 for 300 yards, touchdown. He did have a pick. He actually ran for 14 yards. He also did fumble it as well. But the talk of the town is Alvin Kamara. So anybody who drafted Alvin Kamara and held him and didn't trade him, kudos to you because this guy already leads the running back room with most receptions. He had 12 receptions tonight for 91 yards. And he had 17 carries for 62 yards in the ground with a 2-point conversion. So he ended the night with 29 points in most scoring standards. So pretty impressive for him. Receiving room for this team, Michael Thomas, he had the late fourth quarter touchdown. He was 3 for 42 and a touchdown. Chris Olave it's pretty frustrating. There's back-to-back games now where he's just stopped running routes, and it's shown visible frustration with Derek Carr. He was targeted 15 times, so don't get me wrong, he's getting the targets. The volume's there, it's just now not coming to fruition. He had 7 catches for 7 yards, which isn't terrible, but it's just frustrating on that side. And Taysom Hill is very much being worked in this offense. 5 carries, 18 yards and a touchdown, 4 receptions, 50 yards. So that's something to monitor. I think you do have a tight end wasteland. He might be somebody now that you can just roll out every week, and you wouldn't be upset about it. But on to the news and notes. It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo will not play this Sunday, so it will be a backup because it's also on the Bears side. They're not expecting Justin Fields this week, but the positive note is that he doesn't need surgery. So this game will definitely be a battle of the backups. So fortunately, if you have DJ Moore or Cole Kmet, you kind of have to start them and just hope that they kind of get hyper-targeted. My apologies. And same with the Raiders side. You got to really hope that Hoyer just hyper-targets Devontae Adams. He's already expressed some frustration. There's trade rumors looming around with him, but I don't know if I think it's just all talk at the moment. There's really no smoke at the moment. Other news, Kyler Murray is close to playing. So be mindful of your bye week for your quarterback. He's someone who would definitely want to grab to fill in for your bye week. Definite hole. He could come back and be a trade candidate, so to speak. So he's someone worth holding. CMC and Devo didn't practice today, but they're giving us Monday, so this is a veterans relaxing day for them. Most veterans get Wednesday off. It's like a veteran day for them. So be mindful of that. Be looking out for Friday and Saturday. because come Sunday they'll probably have I thought imagine it'll be a game time decision. That's really scary. Um, Roshan Johnson is still in concussion protocol. He didn't practice today. It does not look like he's going to play because he has to do one limited practice and one full. And Friday's the last day, so it's going to look like Deontay Foreman's going to get that work again. And then other news, tight end Wasteland sucks, but Matt Fryermuth watching the injury report today with a hamstring injury, Thursday. So be mindful of that when it comes down to your games and your lineup. But so I'm going to preview, my apologies, the Sunday late games. And there are some good ones here. So I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Los Angeles. This line opened up at -3 for the Rams. It stayed there. Over-under opened at 42.5. It's now at 44, so healthy over-under. I'll start with the Steelers side. George Pickens, who fully started him, Deontay Johnson, and that's kind of where we stop here because that running back room is really awful. Najee Harris is just not what he is, that rookie season with all the volume. Jalen Warren, I guess I still believe he is the most talented running back in that room. So if you have him, I wouldn't mind him because I just think he will get the more explosive play, so to speak. I just don't think Najee is that. But on the Rams side, it's Cooper Kupp, Puka, it's Stafford. I do like Stafford this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers because it looks like TJ Watt might not play as well, so it limits their defense to what they can do with their terrible secondary. And also, their running back Evans, I'm already blanking on his first name, my apologies, but he is the one that I believe I would start. That they did pick up Royce Freeman, they did pick up some other players, but he is the one that I would probably be starting. So let's just hope he's the one and just go from there. My prediction, I think the Rams blow them out of the water. I think the Rams win by at least a touchdown, so I would bet heavy on the Rams. Arizona Cardinals go into Seattle. The line opened up at 8. It stayed there. The over-under is at 46, and now it's at 44.5. So Cardinal side, I would start Hollywood. I would start Ertz. I'm not touching that backfield, unfortunately. So those who all spent that money on Ricardo, I'm really sorry. It looks like Ingram's going to get the lead of touches, but you won't get the snap count, which is really weird to say. And I would start Ertz. Ertz has been pretty healthy for a tight end in Hollywood Brown. That's about it on that side. I don't see anybody else really being more productive. I know everyone's talking about Michael Wilson. He's been in and out, and he's been very inconsistent, so I'd just stay away from that. The only other name I'd mention, maybe in a flex play in a pinch, would be Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore is being really used as a gadget player, and he's, getting open, getting some yards, so I don't hate that play there. Seattle side, it's just the four-headed monster. It's DK Metcalf, it's Tyler Lockett, it's Ken Walker, and I expect Geno Smith to have a bounce-back game. I expect to have at least 2 touchdowns thrown to either DK or Tyler Lockett, or maybe JSN, who knows, but I expect him to have a good bounce-back game. I expect a very solid game from Geno, someone I'd actually start in a lot of DK lineups. But as far as this, I think Seattle wins. That over-under at 8 is very scary, but I still think they can beat them by 10. So Seattle's my prediction there. Next game, we have the Green Bay Packers going into Denver. It opened up as Denver as a 1.5 underdog. Now they're at 1. The over-under is at 44.5. Now it's at 45. So I will start with the Green Bay side. Aaron Jones, he should be in your lineups. He's been limited to the past 2 days in practice. I think Friday he'll be limited again, but he says he feels great, so you just got to roll with that. Christian Watson, I expect to have a bigger game. Romeo Doubs is very much a PPR machine, and I don't necessarily hate Jordan Love this week because the Broncos just have a terrible defense, and I expect him to have a really good game. And speaking of the Denver Broncos, on this side, this is tough, man. It's like Javonte got the most work out of that backfield over McLaughlin. McLaughlin looks like a more explosive player. If I had to start one, it'd probably be Javonte. I'd probably be wrong with that, but I mean, Sutton, Judy, those guys, I'm not a big fan of it. It's okay in the flex. I just tread carefully. If you have other options, I get it, but I just don't know. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Sutton. Judy's had some interesting comments lately in the media. He's very much has been not it's on me kind of guy. He's been very much like it's on everybody else but me. So it seems like Judy's heading out the door very quickly. Next game, which will be I'm hoping it's the game that everyone should be watching. It's the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs is favored at 5.5, and it's stayed there. This over/under has stayed at 48.5, or sorry, now it's at 48. My apologies. Let's talk about the Charger side here. Herbert, the Chiefs have a very good defense, but you're not going to start Herbert. You're not going to start You're going to start Eckler, Keenan, and actually I like Josh Warner a lot this week. I think those four are pretty healthy. Tight end situation, Gerald Everett. I mean, I don't hate it. You're really just hoping for a touchdown in the red zone. About what you're really hoping for him. So that's about where I stand. Kansas City side, it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey, it's Pacheco. It's those three. And out of the wide receiver room, it's looking like Rashee Rice is becoming the targeted wide receiver. I know he leads the league in drops, but he's the guy that I would start out of any of the wide receivers over Tony, over Sky Moore, over all those guys. So if you had to pick one, that's one I'm picking. And I expect the Chiefs to win at home. So. And on to the Sunday night game. We have the Miami Dolphins versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It's opened at 2.5 for the Eagles and stayed there. And the over-under has been at 52.5, and now it's at 52. So the Dolphins side, it's Tua, it's Tyreek, it's Waddle. So for the running back room, Mostert's going to get the lead back, but Jeff Wilson did a full practice today and yesterday. So I do expect Jeff Wilson to get some work, but I do expect Mostert to be the bell cow, so to speak, for this backfield. So that's someone I'm definitely pretty confident starting, but just know Jeff Wilson is looming. And also Javon Achane, now we're on week 2. Next week's week 3, so it comes back in a couple of weeks there. But on the Eagles side, it's the same 5. It's Jalen Hurts, it's DeAndre Swift, it's A.J. Brown, it's Devonta Smith. He had a limited practice today, so he's looking like he's going to play. So, but you still start him no matter what. And Dallas Goedert. Those are the guys. This game, I think the Eagles bounce back. I know they had a really tough loss against the Jets, but I think they win this week. So those are my predictions. So guys, if you have any questions about who you want to sit and start, who you should pick up, who you should be targeting for trades, let us know in the comments. As always, guys, like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. Until then, guys, I will see you later.